Good morning to all and welcome to the session, the Hindu Editorial Analysis for Proficiency in English. I would like to start the session straight away with editorial vocabulary. Today's editorial is all about vice presidential elections, not too many words to learn. The very first word, it's an important word, appease. Appease we have got a few times. Part of speech, a verb. It means pacify or mollify or placate someone by acceding to their demands. So, what is the meaning of the word appease? Pacify or placate someone by acceding to their demands. Here, the word accede, an important word from the exam point of view, usually takes a preposition to. But if you're talking about the throne, then you should not use a preposition to. Acceded the throne, we should not say acceded to the throne. That is not correct. And stacked, part of speech verb, covered or filled with large amount of things, a familiar word. Confrontation, it goes with common errors. A lot of people say direct confrontation. Confrontation is always direct. We cannot use the word direct, that is redundancy. Part of speech noun, a hostile or argumentative situation or meeting between opposing parties. Hostile situation, usually face to face, we use the word confrontation. Partisan, you have got this word recently. It has two different meanings. One is having to have the prejudice or show the bias or prejudice towards someone. The other meaning in this context, a strong supporter of a party, cause, or person. In tandem, that's a phrase, an important phrase, alongside each other. Constituency, this goes with polity, a group of voters in a specified area who elect a representative to a legislative body. Constituency, a particular place. Cliched, an important word, part of speech adjective, but as such, it's a noun. It could be a verb, showing a lack of originality based on frequently repeated phrases or opinions. Some politicians, usually this goes with politics, public speakers, they use certain expressions quite often, repeatedly. Then, for those expressions, we use the term cliched. Potent, an important word, adjective, having great power, influence, or effect. Hail has different meanings, but here, hail from, it's a phrase. To live somewhere or to have come from there originally, belong to a particular place. And uphold, confirm or support something which has been questioned. Usually, this goes with, it's a legal term. Temperament, someone's temperament, a person's or animal's nature, especially as it permanently affects their behavior. Only a few words, not too many words, 11 words. Now, as I said, this editorial is all about vice presidential elections. How does it start? This one for farmers on the vice presidential election. This one means they have chosen the ruling party, the party BJP has chosen a particular candidate. Regarding that, this one for farmers, then the editorial explains why. What is the main idea of this editorial? The Bharatiya Janata Party is seeking to appease a dominant farming community with its choice for Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar. The main idea, the BJP is trying to appease the farming community or the farmers. And how is it trying to do that? But based on the choice, its choice for Vice President post. And who is that person? Jagdeep Dhankar. Here there's one word, appease, pacify or placate someone by acceding to their demands. They have chosen the present West Bengal governor as the vice presidential candidate, Jagdeep Dhankar. And that act, the editorial opines, it is to appease the farming community. And based on that, it starts with the note, this one for farmers. And the main idea about Mr. Jagdeep Dhankar and the opposition, they have their own candidate, about that candidate, and what is the role of the vice president and also chairperson of Rajya Sabha. It's all about that, the broad framework. The numbers are clearly stacked in favor of Jagdeep Dhankar, the National Democratic Alliance candidate for the office of the vice president. Obviously, the numbers are clearly stacked. Here, stacked one meaning covered or filled with a large amount of things. That means the numbers are in his favor. The numbers are clearly stacked in favor of Jagdeep Dhankar, the National Democratic Alliance candidate for the office of the Vice President. The opposition, 17 parties attended a joint meeting on Sunday, has announced Congress leader Margaret Alva as its candidate. Official candidate Mr. Dhankar and the candidate of the opposition, Margaret Alva, from a former Congress leader. The opposition, 17 parties, not a lot of parties, 17 parties attended a joint meeting on Sunday, has announced Congress leader Margaret Alva as its candidate. Now, the editorial talks about Mr. Dhankar and Margaret Alva and also the role of the Vice President. The Vice President is also the chairperson of Rajya Sabha. This is a broad framework of the editorial. Mr. Dhankar, who joined the Bharatiya Janata Party BJP in 2003, after initial stints in the Janata Dal and Congress, has remained a loyal soldier of the party and its current leadership. As I said, it's all about three, four sentences about Mr. Dhankar. Mr. Dhankar, who joined the Bharatiya Janata Party BJP in 2003. Before that, after initial stints in the Janata Dal and Congress, initially he was with Janata Dal and Congress, and 2003 he joined BJP. Ever since, has remained a loyal soldier of the party and its current leadership. Even the office that he currently holds, the governor of West Bengal, hasn't come in the way of his party loyalty. There are two sentences. One sentence talks about his loyalty towards the BJP party and the current leadership. Then, right now, he is a governor of West Bengal. It says even the office that he currently holds, what is that? The governor of West Bengal hasn't come in the way of his party loyalty. That means he must have gone a little out of the way, or as a party loyal party worker, he must have done certain things questioned by the public. And to substantiate that statement, he has had continuous public confrontations with the elected government led by Trinamool Congress Mamata Banerjee. To substantiate that statement, he has had continuous public confrontations. There is one word over here, confrontation, a hostile or argumentative situation or meeting between opposition parties with the elected government led by Trinamool Congress Mamata Banerjee. On many occasions, it appeared that Mr. Dhankar was playing a partisan role in state politics in tandem with the BJP. Again, this talks about justification to justify the statement. He has been the party, a loyal party worker, and even the current position he holds hasn't come in the way of his loyalty towards the BJP. To substantiate, one is public confrontations with the elected government led by Mamata Banerjee, and the other one, on many occasions, it appeared that Mr. Dhankar was playing a partisan role. Means what? It has two different meanings. One meaning, a strong supporter of a party, cause, or person. Another meaning of this word, it means to be prejudiced or to have the bias towards someone or something. A partisan role in state politics in tandem with the BJP. This is an important expression you have to remember. In tandem, alongside each other, with the BJP. While announcing, now it talks about the reason behind announcing his name as the vice presidential candidate. While announcing his candidacy, the BJP has described him as the son of a farmer, a much cliched, still potent labeling that politicians claim. There's a reason behind, and it starts with that this one for farmers. While announcing his candidacy, the BJP has described him as the son of a farmer. That means he represents the farming community, a much cliched and important word, showing a lack of originality based on frequently repeated phrases or opinions. Still potent, have great power, influence, or effect, potent labeling that politicians claim. The claim has specific meaning in this context. What is that meaning? As Mr. Dhankar hails from the Jat community, a land-owning dominant caste in parts of Uttar Pradesh, Haryana, and Rajasthan. He belongs to Jat community, and this community, it is a land-owning dominant caste in parts of Uttar Pradesh, Haryana, and Rajasthan, Punjab also. The claim has specific meaning in this context as Mr. Dunker hails from. Only hail a different meaning, but when we use a preposition from, it means belongs to, comes from the Jat community, a landowning dominant caste in parts of Uttar Pradesh, Haryana, and Rajasthan. The community's stiff resistance was among the reasons that forced the center to withdraw the three farm laws in 2021. You all know so much happened regarding farm laws, and the government, the center had to withdraw three farm laws in 2021. One of the reasons for that, the communities, which community? Jat communities, stiff resistance was among the reasons, one of the reasons that forced the center to withdraw the three farm laws in 2021. That means the farmers were not happy that time, and as to appease them, they have chosen Mr. Dunker. A considerable segment of Jats had stayed with the BJP in this year's assembly election in UP, and Mr. Dunker's elevation will strengthen the BJP's hold over the community, particularly in his home state of Rajasthan that goes to polls in 2023. The benefits of choosing Mr. Dunker and labeling him as son of a farmer, there is one expression, the son of a farmer. So, highlighting that aspect, certain benefits, keeping in mind certain benefits from the party's point of view. A considerable segment of Jats had stayed with the BJP in this year's assembly election in UP, and Mr. Dhankar's elevation will strengthen the BJP's hold over the community, that means the Jat community, particularly in his home state of Rajasthan, that goes to polls in 2023. Here it so far about Mr. Dhankar and the reasons for announcing his name as a vice presidential candidate. Now the editorial talks about the opposition. For the opposition, elections to the post of president and vice president would have been an opportunity to advance its politics. The time for president and vice president, the editorial says, for the opposition, elections to the posts of these two, president and vice president, would have been an opportunity to advance its politics. On that count, it seemed to have done a poor job. That means they haven't lived up to the expectations. Miss Alva's entry onto the scene is unlikely to move the needle for opposition politics in any impactful manner. Alva's entry onto the scene, it is not going to make any impact. He is unlikely to move the needle for opposition politics in any impactful manner. It is not going to make any impact. She, like the opposition candidate for president, Yashwant Sinha, is a forceful speaker but does not mobilize any political constituency. They cannot make an impact, or they don't make an impact, or they're not going to make an impact in the real sense. There's one word, excuse me, there's one word here, constituency. A group of voters in a specified area who elect a representative to a legislative body. Then it talks about Alva. She comes from Karnataka, a state that goes to the polls next year, but there is little that her candidacy will contribute to the Congress in the state or opposition politics in general at a national level. Because she belongs to Karnataka, this sentence talks about what impact she is going to make state level and also national level. She comes from Karnataka, a state that goes to the polls next year, but there is little that her candidacy will contribute to the Congress in the state or opposition politics in general at a national level. As it now it comes back to Mr. Dunker. As it stands, Mr. Dunker is all set to become the vice president of the country, who is also the chairperson of the Rajya Sabha, two offices that require occupants to be unfailingly non-partisan. Here it talks about the role of the vice president. As it stands, it is quite obvious Mr. Dunker is all set to become the vice president of the country, who is also the chairperson of the Rajya Sabha, two offices that require occupants to be unfailingly non-partisan. These two offices, one vice president, the other same time simultaneously chairperson of the Rajya Sabha, they are supposed to be unfailingly non-partisan, means no prejudice, no bias, nothing. at any cost. They are expected to adhere to rules and the Constitution on the one hand, and on the other, innovate to ensure smooth relations between the government and the opposition. Two rules. One, they are expected to adhere to, stick to rules and the Constitution on the one hand, and on the other, innovate to ensure smooth relations between the government and the opposition. Mr. Dunker should strive means to work very hard to achieve something. Mr. Dunker should strive to build better relations between the government and the opposition and to uphold the honor of the upper house, Rajya Sabha. Uphold. It's a legal term, but it has a few meanings. Confirm or support something which has been questioned. Here it talks about what role he has to play, what is expected, should strive to build, work very hard to achieve something, better relations between the government and the opposition, one thing, and to uphold the honor of the upper house. There is a transition that he might struggle to effect. Effect, you got to be a little careful. In this context, to make something happen, there is a transition he has to change. There is a transition that he might struggle to effect given the temperament he has displayed so far as he steps into a new national role. It ends on that particular note. It could be difficult for him in the sense he has to change, he has to transform. There is a transition that he might struggle to effect given the temperament he has displayed. Temperament, a person's, especially attitude or nature, as it permanently affects his or her behavior has displayed so far as a governor of the West Bengal as he steps into a new national role. This is all about today's editorial. It is about vice presidential election. Not difficult to understand and not too many words. Only 11 words, and many of these words are easy to understand. Now let us go to comprehension skill based on today's editorial. As such, as usual, we start with the first one, the basic question. What is this editorial about? You should be able to write. In whose favor the numbers are clearly stacked. Again, easy to write based on the key words. What hasn't come in the way of his party loyalty? Here, his party loyalty, it means Mr. Dunker's party loyalty. Something hasn't come in his way. What is that? Who was playing a partisan role in state politics in tandem with the BJP. All that you have to do, write the name, but you have to write the complete sentence. What is unlikely to move the needle for opposition politics in any impactful manner? What is unlikely to move? Not likely, likely opposite, unlikely. Unlikely to make an impact. Again, easy to answer based on the keywords. Right now, I'm offering two courses. One is General English for SSC exams. I started on 11th of this month. Still, enrollment is open. The course fee is 1,750 and time slot 11:30 a.m. Validity 1 year. Medium of instruction English. The other one, English for bank exams. Still, the offer is valid for some more time. It is going to be 50% off. The course fee is only 1,000 rupees. And you want more information, you can call me on 703232 5590. Today, I haven't brought exercises, practice questions based on exam topics, only editorial vocabulary. Please have a look at these words and try to write the meanings. Enrich your word power, editorial vocabulary. The first one, appease. Part of speech, verb. What does it mean? I've done very fast, the reason being simple language, easy to understand, not too many words. Pacify or placate someone, an important word, very good. This is also a verb, a regular verb. What does it mean? Second one, covered or filled with a large number of something, whatever it is. Answer is J. Confrontation. Confront, verb, confrontation, noun. So, what does it mean? Hostile situation between two opposing parties. You, 4 to 1, partisan, strong supporter of a party or a cause. Another meaning, to have prejudice or to be biased towards someone or something. It is. It could be a noun. It could be an adjective. A is the answer. In tandem, that is a phrase, an important phrase. What does it mean? In tandem, alongside each other. Usually it goes with work. Work in tandem with someone, alongside each other. An important expression, in tandem. Cliched, it could be a verb. It is a verb usually. It could be a noun. And what does it mean? Based on frequently repeated expressions or phrases. Potent, adjective. Having great power. Excuse me. Hail from, that is also a phrase. Come from a particular place, belong to a particular place. 6th one is over, 7th one is over. Now we have to, 8th one is also have written over. Hail from. Only the word hail has other meanings. Hailstorm, hail, the small ice balls you experience when it rains heavily. Uphold, it is also a verb. Confirm or support. C is the answer. Temperament, you're left with what? A person's nature. Temperament, noun, answer is I. Has anyone got all the 10 correct? Then you should be happy. Yes, it is a noun. Fine, that's very good. That's all for today. Have a nice day. Thank you very much for being with me. And do remember to subscribe and share. Thank you.